Okay, good afternoon, everyone. We will start our session today. So, for all presenters, please open your camera. Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the parallel session at the International Conference on Advancement in Data Science, E-Learning and Information System, or we can call as ICADEIS 2026. And everyone, my name is Hilda Nuraliza, and I'm honored to serve as the moderator for this session. So today we have a series of remarkable presentation for exploring your research. And before we begin, allow me to take a presence for all presenters to make sure that all presenters are here. Okay. For the first is Mr. Welnov Satria from Universitas Syah Kuala. That's attend.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And then next, Miss Rindi Indah Lestari from Telkom University.
Present, Miss.
Okay. And then the next, Mr. Faskali Sinurat from Telkom University.
Yes, but I'm sorry, I'm from ITAS.
Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, Mr. Faskali Sinurat from Institut Teknologi 10 November. Sorry, Mr. Okay, and the last one is Mr. Muhammad Shafa Ramadana from Telkom University. Okay, sorry for Mr. Muhammad Shafa. Are you here? Okay, I think he got a trouble. Okay, and so ladies and gentlemen, let me outline the format for this session. Each presenter will have 10 minutes to deliver their presentation, and at the 8 minute, a reminder will appear that there are 2 minutes left. And at the 10 minute, I will state the time is up. Okay, I kindly ask all attendees to hold their questions until the Q&A session after each presentation. And if a presenter is not ready to present within 1 minute of their scheduled time, we will proceed with the next presenter. And the presenter who is not ready will be rescheduled to present at the end of the session after all other presenters have finished. During other presenter session, please mute your microphone unless permitted to speak. Okay, we urge all participants to maintain a conducive atmosphere during the conference session so that each presenter can participate comfortably and optimally in the discussions. This aims to create an environment that supports the overall smoothness and success of the event. Exciting entering the room during the session is not allowed without prior permission from the moderator. Please ensure you stay in the room for the entire duration of the session to support all presenters. Now, without further ado, let us welcome to our first presenter, Mr. Welnab Satria from Universitas Syah Kuala, who will present a paper titled Quantum Annealing Based Load Balancing Optimization in Software-Defined Networking Architectures. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Mr. Welnab Satria. You have 10 minutes, place and room are welcome.
Okay. Thank you to the moderator. My name is Wanov Satria, and I will be presenting the result of my research. Title Quantum Annealing Based Load Balancing Optimization in Software-Defined Networking Architectures. Yeah. Next. Content list, introduction, background, research question, and objective, method, topology, multi-objective, UUBO, formulation, method, configuration, result and discussion, simulation result, comparative, analysis, and load distribution, conclusion, limitation, and research recommendation. Introduction. Software-defined networking separates the control plane from the data plane through centralized and dynamic management. Load balancing in SDN is formulated as a multi-objective optimization problem, namely minimizing latency, maximizing throughput, minimizing packet loss, and maximizing load distribution fairness simultaneously. Traditional method are limited to one dimension. AI method DRL, SWAM, GA are better but limited by global convergence. Quantum annealing QA via QUBO offer a new paradigm through quantum tunneling. This research provides an original contribution in the form of a new multi-objective QUBO formulation for the SDN load balancing problem that integrates constraints, latency, throughput, load balance, and fairness into a single energy function. Additionally, this research present an SKA implementation using path integral Monte Carlo. Next. Problem statement. How does the QUBO multi-objective formulation integrate constraints, latency, throughput, load balancing, and fairness into a single energy and performance function SKA when compared to DKN, ECHO, and GA on a path tree topology with key equence force? Research objective, designing a new multi-objective QUBO formulation, implementing SKA via PIMC with an optimal configuration, and conducting an empirical comparison study between SKA, DKN, ECHO, and GA on a NVIDIA T4 GPU. Next, method. This research is a quantitative simulation-based research. The simulation was conducted on a fact tree topology with K equivalent 36 nodes, 40 X-link, and 16 server. We're using the network X library on the Google Collaboratory platform with an NVIDIA T4 GPU. The figure below show the proposed QUBO formulation architecture with 1,600 binary variables. Next. The experiments was run with a seed of 42 for reproducibility and repeated with 5 different seeds for statistical validation. SKA offer the best throughput, ECHO offer the best latency, and GA offer the best performance in terms of packet loss and fairness. However, the QUBO SKA energy of minus X37.5675 remains constant across 100 PIMC run and identifies the global minimum of the 1,600 dimensional landscapes. Convergence analysis. Echo converges quickly but too early. Converging immediately at the 5 key iteration. Sorry. GA ko next slides. Okay, GA propagates gradually over 200 generation. The GN was the slowest. The most significant theoretical finding is shown in figure. When we all 100 SKA experiment yielded an identical minimum QUVO energy of minus X37.5675 deterministic VIMC. Survey load balancing. Nah, GA produce the most even survey load distribution. Echo show an uneven load distribution with some server heavily loads will other are under the list. SKA also show an even load distribution with some trade-off for latency optimization. Next, conclusion. SKA with a multi-objective QUBO formulation demonstrates the best overall performance with the highest throughput, 691.24 Mbps, and a minimum QUBO energy of minus X37.5675 that remains consistent across 100 trail, proving the encoding all objective latency, throughput, packet loss, and fairness into a single energy function allow SKA to explore optimal trade-off without arbitrary and external aggression. This reset still has limitations that open up opportunities the further development, including validation on the device Aventec QPU hardware to measure actual quantum Aventec's development toward a multi-agent system (MIS) to improve system scalability and resilience and implementation of dynamic QUBO wedge adjustment mechanism so that the system can respond to change in network traffic in real time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Relmo, for that insightful presentation. So now we will open the floor for question. If you have a question from the audience, if you have a question, please raise your hand before speaking. Kindly state your name and affiliation before asking your question. So for audience here, if you feel interested with the topic of Mr. Relmo, feel free to ask. You can open your mic and then state your name and affiliation. Okay, I think if there's no question from the audience, Mr., then I have a question for you, maybe, Mr. Relnov.
Yeah.
What are the main challenges in implementing quantum annealing gas optimization in real world SDN architectures, and how visible is its adoption with current computing infrastructure?
Okay. Mana?
Do you need to repeat for the question?
Okay. Uh, this approach is capable of accommodating multi-objective simultaneously reducing latency, increasing throughput, minimizing packet loss, and maintaining fairness in load balancing within a single QUBO energy function. Jadi, simulation result on at-FAT3 topology show that SKA with this multi-objective QUBO formulation achieves the best performance in terms of throughput, with highly comparative latency, as well as consistent and near optimal solution when compared to other method such as DKN, Echo, and GA. Thus, this research demonstrate the great potential of quantum annealing as an effective method for adaptive and comparative load balancing in data center scale SDN network.
Okay, enough. Okay, thank you for your answer, Mr. Ronald Satria. So maybe no, yeah, you can close your slide and end your presentation. So once again, thank you for Mr. Ronald
Thank
for your
you, moderator.
presentation. Okay, maybe let us now proceed to our next presenter. Please welcome to Ms. Rindi Indalstari from Telkom University, who will present a paper titled Hybrid LSTM and CNN Model for Multivariate Prediction of SO2 Air Quality in Cilacap, Indonesia. A warm round of applause from Ms. Rindi Indah. You have 10 minutes. Place and time are welcome.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Hilda. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I would like to express my sincerest gratitude to ICADEIS Conference Committee and the publisher for providing this valuable opportunity to present our research today. I'm Rindi Lestari from Telkom University Indonesia, and today I will present a paper entitled Hybrid LSTM CNN Model for Multivariate Prediction of Sulfur Dioxide Air Quality in Cilacap. So this paper was written by me as a presenter together with the co-author M.Kom and Arif Riyandi. Okay, next. Okay, so here is the presentation structure that we will discuss. The first one is introduction, and the second one is the methodology, and then we move into the result and discussion, and last but not least is conclusion. Now let's move on into the introduction. Okay, in here, why is air quality an important topic to study? So, as we all know, our lives is depend on clean air. Therefore, maintaining good air quality is essential for human health and well-being. However, air pollution is a still major issue, especially in industrial sectors, where pollutants such we all know about the particulate matter, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, and others are commonly found in there. And among these pollutants, sulfur dioxide is one of the most prevalent in industrial area. So, next. Okay, and then where does sulfur dioxide come from and why is it dangerous? So sulfur dioxide is mainly produced by the combustion of sulfur-rich fossil fuels such as coal and petroleum. And if we exposure to high concentration of sulfur dioxide, it can cause an airway irritation, worsen asthma symptoms, reduce lung function, and increase the risk of cardiovascular disease. And because sulfur dioxide level in industrial area constantly rise and fall, so they are difficult to predict accurately, and therefore machine learning approaches are needed to accurately predict a sulfur dioxide concentration and to provide an early warnings when the pollution level are expected to increase significantly. Now let's move into methodology. Okay, so in the study, we're using a hybrid model to predict sulfur dioxide concentration. And why do we use hybrid model? Because the previous study have implementation about hybrid model in air quality forecasting. Therefore, we evaluated the hybrid LSTM CNN and compare it with several other machine learning models. And for the model architectures, for the CNN component, it consists of two convolutional layers that can extract important local features from the dataset that we had. And then the extracted features are then passed into the stacked LSTM layers, which can learn the temporal patterns and dependencies over time. And then finally, it can fully connected layers and then generate the sulfur dioxide prediction. And in methodology in here, we split the dataset into 70% for training and 30% for testing. And to evaluate the model performance, we're using 5 metrics evaluation like MSE, RMSE, MAE, MAPE, and R square. Next. Okay, so these are the main steps that we followed in our study. So the dataset in here was collected from an air quality monitoring station in Cilacap, and it covers about 1 year of observation from January to December with measurement recorded every 30 minutes. And in total, the dataset contains around 15,600 data points. And the target variable in the study is sulfur dioxide itself. And in addition, we use 3 meteorological variables that include from the dataset. The meteorological variable here is for supporting features. There is a temperature, humidity, and atmospheric pressure. And during the pre-processing stage, missing values and sensor error from the dataset were handled using interpolation and data filling techniques. And we found a very strong autocorrelation in sulfur dioxide variable. So it means that the current sulfur dioxide concentration is highly dependent on its previous values. Therefore, historical sulfur dioxide data play an important role in predicting future about the sulfur dioxide concentration. Okay, next. We move into the results. So here are the prediction results for sulfur dioxide concentration using hybrid model. As shown in the graph, the model achieved an R square about of 0.91 and RMSE of 12.11, and this result indicate that the model was able to learn the underlying pattern in the data and can capture the temporal behavior of sulfur dioxide concentration using multivariate features. Overall, the predicted values follow the actual observation quite well, showing that the model can accurately forecast normal fluctuation. However, we can also observe some limitation in the graph for sample index 800 until 1000. For extreme sulfur dioxide spike, especially when the concentration exceeds around 140, the model tends to underestimate the peak value. Since the high sulfur dioxide spike occur very infrequently and appear suddenly, the model has limited examples to learn from during training. So, for example, the data training for concentration of sulfur dioxide is mean is 100 until 120, but when the testing data, there is a one or two data that the concentration is above 140. So that's why, as the result, the model is learn about recognize and predict the unusual event that. So the model is still demonstrate a strong overall performance, provide reliable prediction of for most sulfur dioxide concentration patterns in the dataset. Next. Okay, to verify whether the hybrid model actually provides better performance, we compare it with several baseline models. And in here, we found a very strong autocorrelation in sulfur dioxide data, like I said before. So with autocorrelation in here, it's a 0.98. So it means that the current sulfur dioxide level are strongly influenced by previous observation. And in contrast, we're using a meteorological variables for the multivariate and then correlation. So the multivariate correlation in here is 0.31. So the correlation about the meteorological variable is 0.31, and then the autocorrelation for sulfur dioxide is 0.98. So that's why, because the temporal dependency much stronger than the meteorological influence, so the models such as SVR and LSTM only, it can already capture most of the important pattern. So this explains why SVR achieves the best performance. So it can effectively learn the relationship between the region and feature for sulfur dioxide values without requiring a complex architecture. So the LSTM only also performs slightly better than the hybrid, since our dataset is only 1 year and the supporting variable is only 3, and then uh, not be enough additional information for the CNN layers to extract about the meaningful local feature. So as a result, adding a CNN before LSTM did not provide significant improvement. But even so, the hybrid LSTM CNN model still achieved an R square 0.98, indicating that the strong predictive performance and it competitive results overall. Okay, next to conclusion. Okay, so in conclusion here, so the hybrid LSTM CNN is successfully predicted sulfur dioxide concentration and achieved R square 0.91. However, when we compare with other model, SVR achieved the highest performance, followed by LSTM and CNN LSTM ranked third. So this result suggests that the strong autocorrelation in sulfur dioxide combined with the limited data size and the small number of supporting variable favored simpler lake-based model. Nevertheless, the hybrid model is still produce competitive results and remains a promising approach for air quality forecasting. And for future works, maybe a larger dataset and additional environment variables should be considered. With more diverse and complex data, maybe we can adding like a wind direction or traffic, and then the CNN component can more be able to extract richer data or richer local features, while the LSTM can learn more about the complex temporal relationship. So this would allow the hybrid model to be better utilize its architecture and potentially achieve about the superior predictive performance. Next. Okay, so it's all about my presentation and I'm ready to question and answer section.
Okay, thank you for Ms. Randy Indahustari for your presentation. And we will now open for a question for audience. If you have an interest with the topic, please feel free to ask to Ms. Randy. Okay. Okay, so we have one question from Miss Magda. Okay. Okay, Miss, you can open your mic and then state your name and affiliation before you're speaking a question. Okay.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity, Miss Hilda. My name is Mada Lukiana from Telkom University Purwokerto. I wanna ask some question for Mrs. Rindi. Uh, Based on your study, beside comparing single models, why did you choose the SVR and ARIMA models as comparisons models too? That's my question.
Okay, thank you so much for the question from Magda. So why did we choosing SVR and RIMA and then high deep learning only about the comparison model? So we choose these two models because each one represent a different family for forecasting method. So we could fairly test whether our complex hybrid model is actually worth its added complexity. So as we all know about the ARIMA, so ARIMA is the classic statistical method that researchers have used for decades to predict time series data. And we include answer the question like, does model deep learning really beat the traditional approach? So ARIMA is especially relevant here because our sulfur dioxide has very strong autocorrelation. And ARIMA is designed exactly to model how past value relate to future values based on previous study. And for SVR in here is to represent the classical machine learning approach. So it's more flexible than ARIMA, but more simpler than deep learning. So it sits right in the middle. Together, this model give us a three level of complexity to compare. Like ARIMA is for traditional statistic, SVR for classical machine learning, and then the deep learning like SCN and LSTM is for deep learning itself. So this way we can analysis so whether the complex model is truly better or whether the simpler model is enough. And that's why in our case the comparison revealed something interesting that the simpler model is actually perform better with more valuable and scientific findings. So it's because our correlation itself. So that was my answer.
Okay. Okay, Miss Magda, is that enough for your and for the answer?
Enough, Miss.
Okay. Okay, thank you for the discussion. Maybe one more question for from another audience. Okay, if there's no question from the audience, maybe I have one more question for you, Miss Rindi Indrasari. Okay, Miss, based on your findings, which variables contribute most significantly to the prediction of sulfur dioxide concentrations in Cilacap?
Okay, so the variable as a supporting variable in here, we using three variable like humidity, temperature, and atmospheric pressure. So the most have a correlation with sulfur dioxide is humidity. So we finding a correlation about the humidity is 0.31, and then the other like wind pressure and the temperature is only like a 0.1. So it's not high like a humidity itself. Yeah.
Okay, okay, thank you for the answer, Miss
Okay,
Randy.
thank you so much.
So maybe now you can close your slide and end your presentation. Once again, thank you, Miss Rini Indah.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Next, we move to our next presenter. Please welcome to Mr. Pascal Sinurat from ITS, who will present a paper titled Forecasting Short-Term Electricity Load of East Java Province Using Functional Regression Time Varying Coefficient Model. For Mr. Pascal Sinurat, you have 10 minutes. Please and room is yours.
Okay, thank you for the time. Hello everyone, good afternoon. My name is Pascal Sinurat and today I will presenting our research paper with the title Forecasting Short-Term Electricity Load of East Java Province Using Functional Regression Time Varying Coefficient Model. Here we do the research with two other fellow researchers, Muhammad Syed Akbar and Irama. Next. Okay, for the content list, we divided this presentation into 4 different sections as follow, and the topic as follows. Next. So let's go to the introduction. So what is the problem here? So in our daily life, we use a lot of electric devices. You can name it. We use lamp, we use cell phone, we use laptop, and industrial needs a machine to do their work. And all of that electronic devices need electricity as their power. And in Indonesia, national electricity uh, consumption keep rising from 293 to 398 terawatt hour between 2020 and 2024. And East Java was the second largest electricity consumer among all provinces in 2024, accounting for 44.3 terawatt hour. So the rising of consumption, electricity consumptions become a challenge because electricity have a quite unique characteristic where it cannot be stored or it's hard to be stored. So you need to generate according to the demand at that specific time. That's why we need to do those forecasting, especially the short-term forecasting. Next. So the prior studies about forecasting electricity load has been done many times. Here we divided two different approaches. The first one is a point-wise approach where you see the data as a separate single individual value. It's already done many times with a lot of different methods such as TSR, Desarima, LSTM, neural network, and you name it all. And then the other approach is you see the data as a function and as a daily load curve as a functional. So there's a lot of method to in functional data analysis, and The one that we use in this paper is close to the Sohermi one, the functional regression. We use time varying coefficient model, but we use a different type of inputs. Next. So this is the visualizations if you saw the data as a daily load curve. So each line indicating a different daily load curve. So the conventional pointwise method such as Desarima and LSTM model each time slot separately and do not exploit this continuous curve structure, while we treat each daily profile as a single functional object and let predictor effects vary across the intraday domain. And we expect that we can forecast more accurately while staying interpretable. Next. Next. So let's go to the method. The data we get it from the PTPLN of each Java province with the total data of 87,000 data. And if you convert it into daily load curve, it's extracting around 1,800 daily load curve. For the model specification, we have three different outputs and three different inputs and three different bandwidth with a total of 9 model candidate. For the input we use lag only. So the baseline model using the lag 1, 7, 8, 14, and 15. And then we adding the dummy variable for national holiday and dummy for Sunday. We will explain later why we use the dummy variable. For the kernel, we use Epanekrikov, which is asymptotically optimum by minimizing mean integrated square error. And then for the bandwidth, we choose three different bandwidth that equals or approximately 1, 2, and 3 hour window. And then we will choose the best model by seeing the lowest MAPE and SMAPE. And then at the right side, you can see the research workflow that summarize our procedure in this research. Next. Okay, let's go for the results. We start by analyzing the descriptive statistics. Here you can see the electricity load is ranging between 2,700 to almost 7,000 with the mean of 5,000 megawatt hour. And the standard deviation is actually quite moderate, around 620. Here we provide two different plot. The first one is the mean electricity by load by day, and then the second one is the variance by day. Here is the reason why we choose to use the dummy variable. As you can see, the weekdays, Monday to Friday, the pattern is quite similar, while the Saturday is slightly lower, and then there are Sunday and national holiday that have a totally different pattern, especially in the afternoon to the early evening. And then for the electricity load, by the electricity load variance give us the idea to separate the dummy variable, because the Sunday is just slightly bigger variance, while the national holiday is so much more variance in it. That's why we choose to make it into two different dummy variables to accommodate these two differences. Next. Next, here is the results, the main of our analysis. So the first three model is the baseline model that only use the lag only. It's extracting model accuracy of MAPE around 6%. It's actually pretty good for forecasting, but in terms of forecasting electricity load, you expect it to be as low as possible. And then by adding the national holiday dummy, the MAPE the model improve and the MAPE drops to 2.71%. And then by adding Sunday dummy, it doesn't help any further, because even though the pseudo R square is rising, but the out of sample accuracy did not improve that much. So we choose the lowest MAPE, the sixth model, using the bandwidth around 3 hour windows. One thing that you need to be noticed here is the holiday models fail the diagnostic test. It's because the diagnostic tests that have been developed for this type of method is developed by Chu. They assume that the variable that used is a continuous variable, while our method here using dummy variables, so it tends to fail the diagnostic test. So that's why we more focus on the model accuracy. Next. So after we get the best model, we compare it into our benchmark comparison. We choose to compare just one model. It is Desarima. It's because it's a classical parametric baseline model, and we choose to compare it in the same out of sample period. And here you can see our model is better for predicting it. It's reduced the error around 1.5 to 1.6 percentage point in boot metrics. Next. So after we get the best model, we re-estimate the coefficient using all data in sample and out sample. And here I will show you one of the key features in our method, which is our method is functional, right? So you can see the coefficient is functioning. It's have a different coefficient in every timestamp. As you can see, the intercept is quite similar to the descriptive statistics. It's following the daily load profile, while the like 1, 7, and 14 is positive across all day. Like 7 and like 15 is negative across the all day. It's just adjusting for the true value for the prior days like 7 and like 14. And the key feature, the hero here is actually the national holiday dummy. It's because it's adjusting the true value of the electricity load, because if you just input the lag value like 7 or like 14, it's expect to overpredict, while national holiday, usually there's no industrial activity, or there's less in this industrial activity. That's why you need to adjust that forecast. Next. So next, we do the short-term forecasting. Here you can see that every day we produce a realistic intraday shape, which is low overnight, rising throughout the morning, and peaking in the late afternoon. The predicted low stays within a stable band of roughly 4,500 to 6,200 across the horizon. Two things that you need to be noticed. The first one is that 8 January actually is just pretty much normal weekdays. It's a normal Wednesday, but its legs like 7 and legs 14 fall in the 1 January and 25 December, which is holiday. They are carried forward by the leg structure. That's why it's dips, even though it's just a normal Wednesday. So in the future research, we need to accommodate this type of event. And then the second one is 12th January, which is a Sunday. It shows a lower peak, even though we didn't input any dummy variable for Sunday, because our model, the best model, didn't use the dummy variable for Sunday, right? So it's actually showing that the lag already captured the pattern of the Sunday itself. So the usage of Sunday dummy was quite redundant. Next. So for the conclusion, next. So, our model, FRTVCM, forecast each Java half hour load more accurately, outperforming the benchmark model Desarima. And the national holiday dummy is the key driver, while the Sunday effect is already captured by the lag structure. Beyond accuracy, FRTVCM is interpretable and stable. Its time varying coefficient show how each predictor across the day and
Oh, sorry, Mr. Pascalis. I think your time is up. Okay, okay. It's okay. It's okay if we end for the presentation because your time is up. Okay, thank you, Mr. Pascalis, for that insightful presentation, and apologize for cutting the time because our time is limit. So now we move to our Q&A session, and maybe for this for the audience have a question for Mr. Pascalis. Feel free to ask to Mr. Pascalis if you have an interest with the topic. Okay. Okay, audience. we open for Q&A session. Okay, there's no question from the audience. Maybe I will give a question for you, Mr. Pascales. So, how sensitive is your forecasting model to sudden change in electricity consumption patterns, such as holidays or extreme weather conditions?
Okay. Actually, it's quite sensitive, especially in the holiday. It's how do I say it? That's why we use the dummy variable, right? It's just to adjusting that the sudden event that irregular. It's not have a pattern that's always repeatable, right? But by using the dummy variable national holiday, it's already adjusting. But what I want to say is that on our future research, we need to make it into separate dummy variable because every event is have a different magnitude, right? Let's say there is Idul Fitri, which is a national holiday, a big national holiday. The dip in the electricity loads, the less industrial activity makes the electricity loads become a lot more deep than the one maybe uh Christmas or maybe Imlek. It's not really that much changing. That's why for the future research we need to accommodate this sudden event, this how do I say that? It's non-periodical event by using a different type of dummy variable, but it's also came with a trade-off because the cost of the computational is quite pricey. To running one model using just the baseline model, it's already consume around 1 hour to 2 hour for uh, doing to model the uh, data to do the forecast. And by adding a lot more input, it become more costly. That's it.
Okay, maybe one more question from me. Okay, so what is the continual improvement from the model or from the data that you can do for the next
For the next what can I improve for the next
model, for
okay.
example? Maybe.
Yeah, for example, I think we need to differentiate. The simplest one is just separate the dummy variables into 3 or maybe 4 different dummy variable. Let's say we use a national holiday like Hari Pancasila, or maybe uh, any event within the national holiday like Hari Buruh into one different dummy, and then another dummy for Muslim holiday, and then another dummy variable for non-Muslim holiday. That is the simplest improvement. And another thing is actually we right now develop not develop like trying to develop the model to make it uh, like a selections. We use lasso to improve the model. So if the model have like small coefficients, let's say here we didn't use like 2 because a lot of coefficient in leg 2 is near 0. By using the lasso, it can improve the model quite well, even though it's still under development like that.
Okay, I think it's enough for the answer. Okay, thank you, Mr. Pascalis, for your answer. Now you can close your slide and end your presentation. Maybe we can move to our last presenter. Please welcome to Mr. Muhammad Shafa Ramadana from Telkom University, who will present a paper titled Identification of Entities Potentially Involved in Corruption in Criminal Network Using using SEHGNN. A warm round of applause for Mr. Muhammad Shafa. You have 10 minutes plus and time is yours.
Okay, good afternoon, and thank you for the opportunity to present today. My name is Muhammad Safa Praramadana from Telkom University School of Computing, supervised by Kemas Rahmat Saleh Wiarja. Today, I will present our work on identifying entities potentially involved in corruption in criminal networks using a model called SEHGNN. Before I continue, does my voice and video showed? Does my video and audio is showed in your screen?
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Next slide, please. So here's a quick overview of what I will cover today. We will start with the introduction, why this problem matters, and what gap we are addressing. Then I will walk you through our methods on how we build the data set and configure the model. After that, we will look at the result and what they mean in practice. And finally, I will close with our key conclusion and future directions. Next slide, please. Let's start with why this problem matters. Corruption is not something that happens in isolation. It operates through hidden networks where people, companies, and intermediaries working together across borders, often through offshore financial structures designed to obscure ownership and accountability. The Panama Papers gave us a window into this hidden world, leaked from the Panamanian law firm called Mossack Fonseca. This data set spans over 4 decades of offshore operations and cover entities from more than 200 countries. If you look at this visual, a single offshore intermediary connected to dozens of shell companies. This is what corruption infrastructure looks like at a small scale. In this data set, there are thousands of structures like this. And the question is, can we automatically identify the officers who are at the center of suspicious ones? Next slide, please. Graph-based methods for fraud detection do exist, but no prior work has applied HGNNs to offshore corruption networks. This gap is made harder by 2 factors unique to the Panama Papers. First one is extreme label scarcity, and the second one is the complete absence of raw node features. We address this with 2 contributions. First, the first adaptation of SEHGNN for corruption detection using class-weighted loss and 5-seek evaluation to ensure reliable results. And the second one is a ground truth construction pipeline via fuzzy name matching across 7 international sanctions lists. Next slide, please. Now let me walk you through how we approach this. This diagram shows our end-to-end research pipeline. On the left, we have 2 inputs, the Panama Papers itself and 7 international sanctions lists. Both go through preprocessing, which consists of cleaning, normalization, and filtering. And the Panama Papers data is transformed into heterogeneous graph. The sanctions lists are parsed, expanded for aliases, and used to construct our ground truth labels through fuzzy name matching. The resulting graph and labels are then fed into the model itself, the SEHGNN, alongside 4 baseline models for training and evaluation. Now, let me zoom into the most critical components, the graph structure and the model configuration. Next slide, please. The Panama Papers is naturally structured as heterogeneous graph, meaning it has multiple types of nodes and multiple types of edges. There are 4 node types. Officers are individuals or companies holding roles in offshore entities, and they are our classification target. And there is entities, which is offshore shell companies or trust themselves, and intermediaries, which is law firms or agents like Mossack Fonseca itself. The last one is addresses that are the registered location linked to all of those nodes. For the H types, there is officer of, intermediary of, registered address, and yeah, there's 3 types of edges. This multi-type structure captures the layer ownership and facilitation patterns that are common in officer corruption, which is something a homogeneous graph simply cannot represent because it would treat an officer and Excel company as identical nodes. And for the ground truth, I didn't show it here, but the ground truth, we match officer names against 7 international sanctions lists. There is UN consolidated list, OVAC list, EU consolidated list, until US-based denied person list. Together, these sources cover sanctioned individuals across terrorism financing, drug trafficking, weapon proliferation, and corruption-related offenses. And after fuzzy matching and manual review, we arrive at 731 verified positive officer. Next slide, please. With the model trained and evaluated across 5 random seeds, here is what we found. Before I present numbers, I'm gonna give you the evaluation context first. All 238,402 officer nodes were split, giving us around 190,000 training nodes with 584 positive and 47,000 test node with 147 positive. Every model was trained and evaluated under identical condition using the same graph, the same labels, and the same 5 random seed. Our primary metric is our ROC. We choose it because with a class imbalance of 1 to 325, accuracy and F1 score are not meaningful. Mean it's useless. So our ROC measures the model's ability to rank a positive officer above a negative one across all possible thresholds. And the result, as EHGNNs achieve a test ROC of 0.8157 plus or minus 0.011, and the worst model is Han at 0.5823. As GNN's advantages comes from 3 things: 2 hop neighbor aggregation, a transform-based semantic fusion model, and a label propagation features that encode proximity to known positives. Next slide, please. Beyond our ROC, we evaluated the practical value of this model for real world investigation. By averaging the suspicion score from all 5 checkpoints, the ensemble ROC out reached 0.9250. Now here's the number I want you to take away from this presentation. Imagine an investigator who cannot possibly review all the test officer manually. They have limited time and limited resources. Our model gives them a rank list. If they take only top 1,000 candidates, that is just 0.4 of all test officer, they will find 21 of all the verified positive officer. That is a recall at 1,000 of 14.6%. And our model is approximately 15 times more efficient than random selections. Next slide, please. Let me close with the key takeaways of my presentation. First one, SGNN outperforms all 4 baseline with test ROC of 0.8157 plus or minus 0.0111. And our ground truth pipeline yields 731 verified positive officer, enabling a recall at 1,000 of 14.6%. For future work, we propose 2 directions. First one is contrary normalized ranking to address the geographic level skewed we observe, and integration into an agentic AI workflow for greater operational scalability. This work demonstrates that heterogeneous graph learning is genuinely effective for surfacing corruption in large-scale offshore financial network. Next slide, please. And beside that, I would like to acknowledge to the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists for providing open access to the Observability database. The contact details are on the screen. I am happy to take any question or any discussion. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for Mr. Muhammad Shafa for your presentation. And now we move to our Q&A session. Maybe for the audience, if you have an interest with this topic, please feel free to ask to Mr. Muhammad Shafa. Okay. Okay, I think there's no question from the audience. Again, I have a question for you, Mr.
Please.
So, what challenge did you encounter in ensuring the reliability and accuracy of entity identification, particularly when dealing with incomplete or unstructured data source?
I'm sorry, can you repeat it?
Okay, what the challenge did you encounter in ensuring the reliability and accuracy of entity identification, particularly when dealing with incomplete or unstructured data source?
Yeah, interesting question. I encounter some of hardness on this. First of all, I'm not really sure that the data, first of all, I mean, before I did the research, that the data is capable to use in this research. And uh, the, uh, um, a few months ago, the data wasn't even published on ICAG fully, and we cannot download it fully in ICAG. But after I emailed to ICAG, I can download the data fully. And the downside of the data is that the data doesn't have any ground truth. I mean, there's no label that say this officer is corrupt, this officer is not corrupt, or maybe they're not involved in any potential illegal activities. So I have to build the ground truth itself from the international sanctions list that I mentioned earlier. I mean, that's it. I hope it's answer your question.
Okay, I think is that clear enough for your answer. So maybe from the audience, one more question, maybe. Okay, I think it's enough. We can end our session today because our all presenter has been present their slide. So maybe for Mr. Muhammad Shafa, you can close your slide and end your presentation. Once again, thank you, Mr. Muhammad Shafa.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the parallel session on behalf of ICADEIS 2026. I would like to thank all our presenters for their exceptional contributions and insight. And I would also like to extend my gratitude to all participants for their engagement and thought-provoking questions. We hope this session has been both informative and inspiring. And before we end this session and leave this room, let us to take a photo for documentation. So for all participants, please open your camera and then we can take the picture. Okay. Okay. So please give your the best pose. Okay. Let us do it. Let wait for Mr. Randy. Mr. Randy, can you open the camera?
Oh, wait, miss. I think my camera is broken. Wait.
It's okay. We will wait. Okay. Okay. Okay, let me count it. Okay, my presenter, give your the best puzzle. One, two, three. Right, done. Okay. Okay, I think our session is done. Thank you for all presenters and thank you once again and have a wonderful day.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
thank you,
you.
Miss.
Yeah, anytime.
I have one question, please, moderator.
Ah, ya.
Apa bahasa Inggrisnya nggak apa nggak sih?
Iya,
Bahasa
iya,
Inggris
gak
saya.
apa-apa pakai bahasa aja.
Sertifikat buat presenternya kira-kira keluar kapan ya, Kak?
Nanti secepatnya sedang diproses juga sih.
Oh gitu.
Seharusnya kemarin juga untuk yang sesi sebelumnya setelah sesi selesai udah langsung diproses. Mungkin
Oh,
paling lambat juga saya tidak bisa menjanjikan ya, tapi bisa besok atau mungkin 2 hari yang
oke.
akan datang seperti itu.
Lewat email paling ya, Kak ya?
Iya.